Hi, everybody, and welcome back. My name is Melissa, and this year my intention is to share 365 tips for frugal living. Sorry, it's a little chilly. It's like 27 degrees out. And again, if you saw my snow shoveling video, only have on a tank top and a thrifted North Face thing, which is surprisingly warm. Now I see why North Face does make so much money. I mean, this is the TKA 100, and I'm not overly cold. So anyways, that is not today's tip. This is not sponsored by North Face. I was just kind of shocked at how warm this shirt is. Today's tip is hang dry your laundry. You're going to save the energy that your dryer would be using, or save the money that you would be using going to the laundromat. I specifically am doing it today because I want you to see it is 27 degrees. There is snow on the ground. The lake is frozen over. I don't know. Kind of looks shiny and shimmery in the camera, so I don't know if you can really tell that there's ice. But I put these clothes out. I am not a morning person. If you have followed me for any amount of time, you probably know that by now. So I put the laundry out around 12:30, 1 o'clock, and it'll hang out until about 4:30 when it gets dark. At that point, I'll bring it in and hang it in my room for another 1 to 2 hours. Most of it will be dry, but I'll have to warm it up to make sure, because cold and wet feel very similar. And I found out the hard way once that I thought it was just cold and it was wet, and I put all of my underwear away with like the seams and gusset wet, and it wasn't pleasant when I put it on the next day. So in the winter, I'll hang dry them for another hour inside and it's on a cheap rack. This thing cost me $75. The rack inside cost me, I think it's 15 now. It was 12 when I got it at IKEA back in like 2019. But honestly, I save so much money by doing my laundry at home, hang drying it, not using that energy. I didn't have to spend hundreds or thousands of dollars on a dryer. I spent 75 on this, and I spent 15 on the other one. I don't have to add to the energy bill of a dryer. I'm not using tons of propane or electric. I am in a tiny park model, so I use propane. I mean, that's just how my subdivision is set up. And it's pretty expensive, so I don't have that additional expense from a dryer. I also can, I mean, I've saved hundreds of dollars over the course of the past. I set this up in 2020, spring of 2020. I started doing my laundry by hand and hanging it to dry. So $80 for my drying utensils, and then every so often I get 100 clothespins for, well, it used to be $1, now it's $1.25 at Dollar Tree, and it works. It does take a little bit more effort than using a machine and throwing them in the washer and then throwing them in the dryer. I mean, definitely that's easier, but my clothes last longer. They stay nicer. They are sanitized, so I'm not spending any money on sanitizers or putting those awful itchy chemicals on my body. So today's tip for frugal living: hang dry your clothes, preferably outside. If you're in an apartment, I understand you may not have that option, but you can clip them to a hanger and hang them on your shower rod. You can buy a cheap clothes dryer. I think I spent 15, but you can find them for like $30-ish at Target and Amazon, if those are your options, because I recognize not everybody has an IKEA within driving distance. When I lived in Florida, I used to have to drive either 2 hours to Tampa or 3 hours to Miami to get to IKEA. I think, oh, maybe it was Orlando. Maybe it was 3 hours and 3 hours. Anyways, I didn't really go to IKEA unless I was already there for something else. But I do recognize, but still, $30 is a lot cheaper than hundreds of dollars. I mean, a used dryer that's meh is still going to be $300-ish. So today's tip for frugal living: hang dry your clothes, preferably outside. If you like hearing my tips and tricks for frugal living, please hit like and subscribe. I'm sorry, I know standing with your arms crossed, like, It's bad body language, but it is getting a little chilly. I am in the shade, not the sun here. So, and I don't know if you can see, I do have my clothes hanging. I just want you to see that even in the winter, it can be done. Thank you so much. Please don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and then tune in tomorrow for another tip. Thanks. See y'all tomorrow.